Folks, I'm excited to tell you about my new sponsor, Black Bull Markets. They are based here in New Zealand, and they're a New Zealand regulated broker who offers up to 500 to 1 leverage and over 26,000 tradable instruments. You can trade Forex, shares, commodities, indices, crypto, and they're an award-winning brokerage firm here in Asia Pacific with dedicated 24/7 client support and no minimum deposit. To trade with Black Bull Markets today, click the link in the description below or in the card above.
Alright, we're on. So we got NFP today. So hopefully we can catch some nice moves. Let me just make sure everything's working. Yep, sweet. Alright, let's go share screen. Let me jump straight into the charts. Alright, let me have a look at the chat. Let's have a look. How's everyone doing today? What's everyone looking at? What's people's ideas? What are you trading? Oh. Just pop a message in the chat if you can hear me and everything's good. And then I'll get started. So what we got today is NFP, which most people don't normally trade, but I seem to like to capitalize on NFP. If you don't know what NFP is, it's non-farm payroll. And as you can see, really the actual NFP is obviously come out for Great British Pound, and to be honest, if you looked at it, it is pretty decent. To be fair, it's showing quite strong in the pound. We got the euro in another 23 minutes, which is another high. So if you haven't looked at that, take a look at that. And the same with Canadian dollar later. USD will probably be the biggest moves we have today in the market. That'll probably shift the market the most. So New York session, if someone's on live in New York session, that'll be a good session to watch because there should be a lot of movement. This morning, I just want to go over a few pairs that obviously what I'm looking at for NFP and what I'm going to be looking for. So currently on the 4-hour on GU, we have this downtrend. You can see with lower lows and lower highs, and we've kind of consolidated around this area. So really we've pushed out. I'm looking for now price to maybe potentially tap into this sort of area here, this order block, and potentially drop even lower than it already has. For me personally, I was going to go long yesterday evening, but just because of NFP in the morning, I just didn't want to take that risk of not being able to manage the trade, because I did potentially see this pushing up anyway, because even on the 1 hour, we could come into sort of this area here and reverse. But personally, from personal experience with GU, I would we're going to head up into this sort of area here and draw, because you think about it, if people have sold from here, and this was a big imbalance and infill in the market, which we've filled now, we're then going to take out these sort of people here that have been selling, if anything, and then roll over and drop off and then make a lower low. If not, we could get a push straight through all the way up and continue out of this and possibly even go to, I would say, we could possibly come to these sort of highs here. If we was going to continue out of here, I reckon we wouldn't stop at these two highs here either. I reckon we'd continue right out and would come up to sort of 22,800 area up and around here, because I feel like that's the most likely area for price to head if it does break out, because this is just a range that's been stuck in for how long now? Look, since 3rd of February, and we're now basically 10th of March, so we're over a month in consolidation sort of thing, sideways movement. So today I'm going to be looking to go long on this, which I was last night, but this is not too promising at the moment, because I did want to get long after the break of this structure here. So I was on the 15-minute yesterday after the break of this structure here and this big bullish candle. I was going to take my entry. Then it did come back to retest, so that would have been a good entry, but I was, what time was this? This was, let me move this quickly. This was what time? This was 7 this morning, because last night I was, where were we? 5. Oh, we're on the 15-minute and we should be back here. Yeah, so this was 12 o'clock last night. This candle moved here, and then once this taken out these, let me just make sure. Yeah, once this price here is taken out these sellers to the left, these buyers to the left, then I was hoping for the push up. And even when we had this wick taken out any buyers that were here on the left, because as you can see here, this sort of area, we had this sort of area on the 15-minute, which people were buying from to go upwards, which they did. They went into profit, and then what happened? Dropped off, took them out, and then what did we do? We still went up, big bullish engulfing, and then we had a wick back into this same area again, just to make sure that all these buyers that had just got in on this big bullish candle were taken out before we actually see price move up. And then from this area here, boom, we push straight up. So I do potentially see it pushing all the way up into maybe the 2000 level, and if not, going even higher into probably this sort of area here. But how far into this area, I couldn't say, but I potentially see that on GU. GJ as well, I didn't actually check. Oh, see, look, it's kind of neutral on GBP. So JPY, we've got Japanese interest rates are all 0.1, and I think that's it, isn't it? Yeah, that's it for the Japanese yen. That's all they have. So we've got one interest rate, 0.1, 0.1, 0.1. So with Great British Pounds being so strong at the minute, and the way the market's heading, I would like to see Great British Pound even move up itself. Because as we've got now, to be fair, let me have a look. I could be wrong. What I'm seeing is Great British Pound tapping into that area now, and we could possibly get another sell-off from here. But for me, especially for me right now, is the fact that we've got this double top high here, and price hasn't wicked these people out. So there would be, I don't know, short positions from retail traders like this, 30 pip stop, targeting this low. It's come back up, but preferably to them, this is still downside. This is still going to go short, because they know that now they've broken the uptrend, which was higher highs and higher lows, and now they're making lower lows and lower highs, lower lows. This is sort of a range, and then it's dropped out, and then it's come back, and this is obviously their sort of area to sell from. And you think this is like a big confluence for retail traders. So you've got, obviously, what retail seem to not understand is they think the more taps, the more likely the trade is to go from that area. But the more taps is just showing that it's more likely for you to get taken out before it actually makes the big move. So you've got to be on your game, and you've got to watch it. Like, we've got this tap here, so someone could have used this, pulled this across to here, then they would have waited for this here, tap in, they'd have bought, so they would have gone a bit, it would have come back to their entry point again. So if they'd have moved stop loss to entry at, I don't know, here, this would have taken them out. If not, they could have bought again, and then guess what? This could have taken them out. They could have bought again. This could have taken them out. They could have bought again. This wick would have definitely taken out every single person here. But that's on the side of buyers because the market wanted to sell off. But now we've got to the point where the market sold off. We're looking for this sort of area to come up into here, take out this liquidity above, and then roll over and drop off. That's what I'm hoping for. What about gold? We'll take a look at gold in a second. So right now we've got, so what news has just come out? What are we on now? So we've got euro coming out. We've got better than expected on euro. So we've got 1.7 and a 4%. To be fair, euro is quite strong as well. So Great British Pound versus euro will be quite good. Euro, Great British Pound. Got to keep an eye on this. But yeah, so for GJ, I'm looking to potentially sell from here, if not go higher. But it depends what it gives me on the 15-minute as well. So I want to see a clear break of structure below here, change of character, and then look for my re-entry on the pullback and then to drop down. That's what I'm going to be looking for on GJ, to hopefully be going short to potentially this low at the bottom here, if not this sort of area here. Good stuff. Thank you. We've got gold. So gold is the same as GU. Sure, they correlate a lot. If you've backtested gold and GU, you can see even in live markets, they do correlate quite a bit. Look, if you look at gold and look at GU, they correlate quite a bit. For gold, personally, the same thing again. It could potentially roll over from here, but what I want to see on gold is, obviously, you've got these same wicks in this area again. I do want to see a spike up, maybe to take out any sellers that are already in this, because on the 4 hour, to me, we're in a downtrend. We haven't quite got on and made a lower low, so potentially we could look for the push up. It might pull back and then it might continue up. But for me, getting in any trade, I want to see a clear movement and I want to see clear direction. And right now, this is clear to me that this is going for sells. So if it's going for clear sells, what am I going to be looking for? I'm going to be looking for buyers. So that's the 4 hour, 1 hour. I personally think that gold is going to push up. I haven't actually looked at the USD news and what sort of they're expecting. That's better than expected. That's better than expected. That's the same. That's worse. That's worse. Yeah, so see, USD news is kind of in another thing, not really showing too much, because I know there's expected, but you've got to wait for it to actually come out to decide. sort of directional. But then again, you can see. So 15-minute, I'm going to go for this here. I could see this being going from here. Even if we do just take out that high and we go to there, I can see, even if I go stupidly tight, 20, I can see that happening. And even if I did enter that now, we've already getting a push up. I can personally see gold coming up to this area because this high needs to be taken out now. Because if you see that we've come up to this area twice, if not 3 times, both times here to take out any people, but we've not quite cleared them completely. So for me personally, I'd want to see gold clear completely before rolling over, or if not, pushing higher. That personally is for me. Last week, if you did watch the live stream, you would have seen that we put 2 trades that basically both went into profit. One I did see hit stop loss if you didn't manage it properly, because basically last week we had I think it was EU and GU, both trades. One went all the way to TP. The other one did go to TP, but it went through to stop loss first, but it was a big wick, and then it was straight up to TP. But that is, if you didn't manage your trade properly, you would have obviously hit stop loss. But I managed to trade properly, so we didn't actually hit stop loss. But one of them I didn't actually take. Yes. So for me, this personally, I want to see this push up into this sort of area at the top here. Is there any pairs anyone's looking at for? See, this is what I'm saying. On the 1 hour, I would have took this from the bottom here. I would not have entered where I've entered now. So looking at it like that, I would not have entered where. But obviously, for the sake of, I want to see it push up on a 15-minute chart. I could potentially still see it push up on the 15 minutes, especially when you come to the 4 hour. Yeah, I know it is a wrong entry. I wouldn't have realistically entered that sort of area there. I'm not saying to you to enter, but that's sort of what I'm looking. I'm looking for price to drive up into this last area at the top here. Because if you think about it, if retail have sold here, what's happened every single time? They've sold. Say they sold here, come up, taken them out. Say they sold here again, come up, taken them out. Now they're looking for the pullback, and they think the pullback's complete. So what are they going to do? They're going to be looking to sell. So where their stop loss is going to be again. So if you used to short this from here, stop loss is going to be above. You're going to be targeting this low, if not even lower. So what are you going to do before you head off that way? You're going to take out these stop losses. So to me, what I would want to see is price come to this sort of area before actually then rolling over and doing this. That's what I would want to see. But whether or not that happens, we could push up, and we might not actually wick like we did here. We might actually just push up and then continue up into this order block at the top here. That if we do get into that zone, that'll be my main setup to go even lower than this low down here. But for now, I would look for this to push up into here. And by the way, this is just a example. I wouldn't tell anyone to take this trade. This is just showing you that I want to see price push up to a certain level. And most likely in this session, it will. So what we got? We've got Euro Great British Pound as well, which is another one that's going to be fun because that's coming out in, what we got 6 minutes. So we've got 6 minutes. Basically, we've got till 8 o'clock, and at 8 o'clock, that's when the Euro news will come out. And this is where we'll see what happens with Euro Great British Pound. We go to the 4 hour. what's standing out for me is this. So we've got this area here. This wick didn't quite get into this area. This, for me, then again, you've got see here, I don't know, it's kind of giving me retail vibes. It's kind of giving me what most traders would go for, a little head and shoulders sort of thing. So you got the left shoulder, the head, the right shoulder, and they'll be looking for the bounce off. But personally, I'm looking for price to drop into this area here to then potentially I'll look for price to drive into this area here, look for my entry, and potentially come up to sort of this high up here. If not, let me have a look. So this would be my sort of entry into here, and then push all the way up. Because I feel like most people will be buying from this point anyway. So if you look at the bigger time frame, we've got the push up, the exhaustion, the push up, the exhaustion, and then most people will be buying from this sort of zone. And what makes it even more likely for people to buy is the fact that we've had these wicks before into this zone and we've still gone up, and then the fact that we've got a wick here and this sort of entry here for people to come up. But if you'd have seen, people would have bought straight off this level, they'd have been in profit and they'd have been wiped out now. So personally, this is going to come to in and around here to then take off to go even higher. Put this and get rid of that now. Have we got any pairs that anyone wants me to go over? Also, Euro USD, same thing. Again, I want to see this sort of before we drop. So this here is kind of taken out any sellers that was here very slowly. As you can see, it's very slowly moved up. There's no momentum in this. Whereas if you look at like the likes of this, there's a bit more momentum, but even still, it's very slowly. We've pushed up over the time. GU, yes, I did go over GU. GU for me is looking quite. I don't know. GU could go either two ways. We could see now this push up into this sort of order block area here on 4-hour time frame. I think I got this from, or the 1 hour, but even the 4-hour order block at the top here, we could possibly see it drop into there. If it breaks through this here on the 1 hour, then I'd say 4-hour order block is probably my main target to go to. But then from here, where we are at now, we could possibly now wiped out any sellers here. We could potentially go from here, drop, take out any buyers, and then come back up and then drop. Because what you tend to see on GU is things like this. Let me get the pen up. Where are we at? So what we tend to see is things like this. So you've got this here. I want the highlighter really. I don't want the pen, I want the highlighter. So what we tend to see is this here, wiped out any sellers, wiped out any buyers, and then what do? We headed in the direction that we wanted to go in. So this is what GU does a lot, and if you backtest GU, you'll see the same things over and over and over again. It's just the way GU moves is, look, even if you look back here, we've got this same sort of wick here. We're always with GU taking out both sides of the party before we actually go on the run. So for me, that's what I would want to see. I'd want to see either a push up into here, 1 hour order block, or go up to the 4-hour OB and then drop off from the 4-hour OB. Or if not, this is not. I don't know. This for me will continue to stay strong until the USD news comes out, and then it will either roll over or, it will drop off. Gold, same thing. For me, that's what I'm looking for in gold. Potentially taking out stop losses where my blue arrow is at the top here, and then rolling over. If not, pushing up into the order block and then creating obviously my 15-minute time frame setup, and then I'll go for a short. But for now, it's just a waiting game. We've got 1 minute as well until Euro release their news. Whether it's good or not is going to be another thing. So we could potentially see this drop, or we could potentially see this go up. But for me personally, I reckon this will drop into this zone at the bottom here, this grey zone at the bottom, and then we'll see. As you can see from previous, look, we've wiped out both sides, and then we've created the real move. Because retail stop losses after this big move up, they're going to be buying all here, so their stop loss is going to be below. Obviously, this was a bit extreme putting it down here, but obviously I can see obviously the imbalance in the market here hasn't been filled. So this is the sort of area I was looking for. That background sound. Background sound. There is no background sound. Unless you're hearing the click of the mouse, then yeah. But yeah, that's the sort of thing you can see that's happened previously, is obviously the imbalance in the push that we've had here. Obviously, people here are buying, they've been taken out here, and then they've bought again. So then I've decided after the takeout of both sides, we're then going to see a sell-off before moving higher. And that's what we did. All right, what have we got? We're still on a minute. Oh no, we're done. So have we got better than expected? 4%, 1.7%. So USD, Euro is quite strong now as well. That's going to fall into this sort of zone here. As you can see, we've got it coming in. So hopefully we get into this sort of area, then I'll look for, yes. It sounds like an alarm going off on a watch. I've got the live stream up on my phone. I don't hear. Oh, wait. I don't actually know what that is, because there's no sound in here that's making that. That's just the live stream. I understand what you mean, because every time I mute it on my other phone, I can hear it when I unmute it, but when I'm here, I can't hear nothing. There's no sound, so I don't know what's going on with the live stream, but that is not anything to do with me here. Yeah, so for me now, the only time I feel like this market's going to really do nice shifts is probably USD. That would probably be the nicest shift that we could possibly get in the market at the moment, because I feel like even with news now, it's not really shifting too much at the moment. Whereas Euro come out better than expected, but look, as we can see here, we've wiped out any possible buyers that are in this market here, and we could potentially now move up on the 15-minute. Yeah, so buyers have been now wiped out from here. Their stop losses have been taken. We could potentially now move up and go even higher into the market. Gold went off as expected. Yeah, I expected gold. Yeah, I expected gold to go up. I thought gold would go up. Even if you did enter that stupidly, not a very good risk to reward. But at the end of the day, I was looking for gold to take out these stop losses above here before now rolling over and dropping off, depending on what sort of USD news comes out and how long it holds for. But yeah, so potentially, even if you'd have taken this, it would have been a 2% roughly 2%. Yeah, it would have been 2%. But I would not have risked 1% here. I'd have risked 0.5% if you did take this, because it is a very tight stop and 15-minute. But yeah, this is the same as last week. You can predict the market very simply if you simplify your trading and take it down to the point of where are these big banks, these big hedge funds, these big corporations, where are they pushing the market, where are they looking the market to go before the real move? What are they looking to do before the real move? They're looking to take out us because it builds their orders, it creates them more money in the market. So once they wipe us out and then take the move, they've got all of our orders where we've lost in the market. So it basically doubles the money that they've got in the market to push, and now they'll push and then they'll create more money for themselves. That is exactly how they do it. They want to wipe out normal retail traders like us. Like, I still class myself, we are retail traders, but the point is I don't want to think as retail as you can get it, which is basic support and resistance, trend lines and things like that. Don't get me wrong, if you use them correctly and you patient with your entries, you can get good entries. But for me personally, it just doesn't work. So I've backtested this strategy that I use now, and this strategy I backtested yesterday for a whole day. And over the day, on the 1 hour time frame, I was 50% profitable. On the 4 hour time frame, I was 70% profitable. On the 15-minute, I was 70% profitable. So, and that was over a period of 30 trades each time frame. Because I feel like if you dim it down to one time frame and one area and just learn in your strategy, you'll become profitable over time. And the best thing about this day and age is you can get funded at any stage. So for me now, on gold, I would have taken myself out. This would have been gone. So I'd have done what I needed to do. This would have been taken off. I completed what I needed. I would have then, what is the strategy called? There's no name to the strategy that I use. The strategy I use is just basic price action and understanding where they want the market to go before it actually goes. So, for instance, with gold, as soon as this big move happened, I'm straight away thinking, where is it going to go to take out anyone that's selling? Where's it going to go? The first place it's going to go is up here, right? So we're going to get an upwards move, because we can never have a push without an exhaustion, right? Because every time in the market, you have a push, pull back, push, pull back, push. So no matter what, I know the market moves in only two phases, and that's push and pull, but it's catching the right moves on the push or the pull. So for me, I entered around this sort of area here on gold, and then it come back, and then it did go up, and I did take profit at the top of here because I expected the same thing that I just expected here. I expected these wicks to be taken out, and the same thing happened. So obviously 15-minute criteria come in, and then I took the trade, and the same thing here. The 15-minute criteria, see, if you'd have paid attention, my 15-minute criteria is not that, I don't know, not that complicated. It's quite simple. If you look around this area here, you understand this sort of U formation. You'll see this a lot in the markets, right? And you get this before the drop off. And look, U formation, drop, U formation, drop. Understand? But it's waiting for the correct pattern to show you that it's fully going to take off and not come back. Whereas here, after this drop, this momentum in the market was showing me this ain't going to go any further. This momentum in the market, come back, it ain't really, you've got a strong candle and then you've got all these dojis and everything like this that is just showing me no momentum. So obviously you wait for the correct patterns and then you go for the trade. Don't just take the trade straight off our momentum, because momentum doesn't always go your way. But look, on the bigger time frame, once we've got this U pattern, we tend to roll over and drop off. So that's what we look for. It's pretty simple, pretty straightforward. It's just understanding the direction of the market and understanding where the market, or where these hedge funds, banks, all these people want you to go, but where they're going to go first. Let's have a look at UJ. Yeah, UJ from last night. Let me get rid of this now. Yeah, we could potentially see a nice move up here today from NFP as well. Thank you for your explanation. No worries, my friend. So yeah, for me, gold now is going to look likely to, it could potentially just literally drop off. We've got a nice 4-hour candle here. Once this 4-hour closes, I feel like this will be, yeah, so at 10 o'clock this morning is when I'll set my alarm for now, and I will have a look, because obviously 1 hour can show you that it's wicking and it's up into this area, but the 4-hour closure at 10 o'clock, and that'll be coming out way before any news anyway, that will sort of show me what sort of direction I'm definitely looking for, because we could have this wick up now, taking out these stop losses, but we could then get induced sellers, which it could be doing right now, getting sellers in the market, making retail think, because retail will have their fibs from this high to this low. This could come back into 61.8 fib or 71.5, whatever it is, percent fib, and they could be looking for sales now. So once this wick here is induced people into selling, we could still then on the 4-hour drop on the 4-hour candle and still push back up all in that 4-hour. So we could go even higher than this potentially. So for me, I'm going to wait for that 4-hour closure at 10 o'clock. And if it closes bullish and above these wicks, then we're going higher. But if not, I'll be looking for 1-hour entries, if not 15-minute, depending on how tight I can get my stops and how I can manage the trade. But at the moment, if you did take that trade that I did place, you would have obviously made 2%, which to make 2% within, what was that, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 2%, you're doing pretty decent for the day, really, up 2% already. And it's not even 9 o'clock. The reason I wouldn't have taken that, though, personally, is because obviously the risk to reward wasn't that great. But if I did, I would have risked 0.5%. I wouldn't have risked 1%, because it's a very high risk trade. That was a very high risk trade, especially on the 15-minute. Has anyone got any pairs that they're currently trading, or any trades that they want me to go over, or anything that they want me to cover? I know last week there was a few people asking about funding, and I would say that if you want to get funded, it's probably the best thing you can do. I would personally, if you was going to get funded through either FTMO or E8. GJ, have I done GJ? I have, but yes. So look, GJ, we've moved up. We've got this nice wick into this area. We didn't even. What time was this? 6, yeah, 7, and now we've got this move down. We've got this shift in the market now, which I did not expect to happen so soon. But yes, this is the power of NFP. Yeah, on the 4-hour, we've got this push up. And I don't know, we could get a 50% retracement here. We could get a 50% retracement. So we've taken out any sellers. We've got we've taken out any sellers. Then we've actually sold off, but then we've got 50% of this candle to come back up, and maybe, I don't know, I just don't see. I understand GJ pushing down because of the fact that we've got news to suggest that Great British Pound is strong. But for me personally, this sort of area up here is a high interest area because we haven't actually come up and taken this out. I would have assumed that GJ would have pushed, wicked up, then rolled over and dropped. But, you know, it can go either way. Let me have a look. So if we got that there, we got 1 hour. See, for me now to enter this, I would wait for this sort of come back into here before going any lower. That's what I'd wait for now. But it could just push and we could just see it drop in direction and just keep on pushing. Sorry, I'm just trying to sort out this. Yeah, there it is. Alright, sweet. Yeah, so for me, I don't know, if GJ does want to push down more, I would want to see like a little retracement maybe back in. But you know what NFP's like? It literally just falls off the face of the earth. It literally don't stop for no one. But what I see a lot of people doing wrong, because don't get me wrong, sometimes it does come back, but what I see a lot of people doing is doing this. And this is where you get stopped out, and this is where your stops are going to be minimum 50 pips, and your take profit's going to have to be all the way down here. So don't get me wrong, some people might catch injuries like that, and it may work, but personally, for NFP, I just wouldn't risk it because the wicks are just sometimes ridiculous. We might get this pushed down. Next candle might open, it might come all the way up here and then come all the way back down here, and you've been taken out and then it's gone in your direction. So I wouldn't personally do things like that. I would wait, because I have seen it quite a few times on NFP and people's accounts have been blown from it. Yeah, so GJ, that's my prediction on GJ, is obviously for price to still potentially come back up before actually dropping off, because most retail people are selling from this area because we've got the push to exhaustion and then another breakthrough retest before going short. So personally, I would want to see price push up even more, take out any sellers that are actually in here. BTC, I don't actually trade BTC. I don't actually trade any like stocks and shares, none of that. No. Yeah. I'm just not a options, stocks and shares guy. Yeah, someone last week as well asked, do I not look at the DXY? But I don't actually check that either. I don't tend to look at that because, let me move this because that's annoying me. I don't know. There you go. Yeah, I don't look at the DXY either because I just don't. I know it correlates with the US dollar, but I don't actually need to look at it to see whether the US dollar is strong or not. I can see that through news and through the way the market moves. I think people overcomplicate things too much. You've got to be simplified in trading. You've got to keep it simple. What time have we got? USD news, 5 hours. So around 1:30. Yeah, so obviously on this candle here, 10 o'clock will be that point of movement on the 4 hour, which will show me potential direction. And then how many years? I've been doing this since I had 2000 and I think 17, 2018, 2017. Yeah. I do have a podcast I did with Cam on the YouTube, but obviously it's not. That was when I first become profitable when I was first starting out on the journey. So I don't know, the strategy I didn't really show too much because obviously I didn't want to give away what I was actually doing. But my strategy has changed since that point because you learn to evolve with the markets, and you learn that, especially through the pandemic, there was a lot of movement in the market that, I don't know, it kind of made me rethink the strategy that I was using. I'm using the same sort of concepts, but I'm now more focused on, I don't know, intricate detail and an edge. I think that's the best thing, is to focus on the edge that you've got over your trading. But yeah, please could we do US30? I'll have a look at US30. To be honest, I have a US30. What am I doing? What am I doing? US30. yeah, for me, I've never traded US30, so I don't even know what sort of one I'd be looking at, but let me just go for this. To be fair, US30 is another one that I've heard that is good to trade. So to be fair, I haven't actually joining. Can you check GBUSD? Yes, I can. Okay, so for me personally, we've got this low here has been broken, so we have a break of structure here. We are going for yeah, so we're kind of moving downwards now anyway as well in this sort of area. We go to the 1 hour. For me personally now, I'd be looking to go long. The momentum, how much it's slowed down over time. Slow. And now we're starting to see a little shift up. I'd potentially be looking for price to come to potentially in and around here. Before, if not going further, and if it does want to push up even more, it'd potentially come to feel like this sort of imbalance in this sort of area here. Because personally, you want to see the shift, because we've had the big push, and what happened last time? We had a push, we had an exhaustion. What happened when we had the exhaustion? It come back around and back up again and done this U formation before then dropping off. So I'd want to see it come up into here before dropping off. And that is exactly what the market does every single time. If you go back and look at it, you'll see 9 times out of 10 it does this. But get me wrong, let me do it properly. It comes round, potentially wicks, and then drops. Because most people will be selling at this here, because that'll be a support level for you to sell at. So I'll be looking for obviously price now to come. I would go down to the 15-minute, or I'd wait probably. The way these candles are moving, I'd go down to the 15-minute. I'd see a break in structure here. I'd wait for the retest, and then I'd continue up and get all the way up into here. Because on the 15-minute, you could get a nice risk to reward on this. Because what have you got here? You've got from, say, this low here where it is now. Yeah, see, you've got a nice risk to reward you could have potentially there. Because making 2% is 2% at the end of the day, no matter what it is on and what sort of time frame you're looking at. It just depends on your lot size. So on obviously the 15-minute, you'd up your lot size because you're going to do a high risk trade, if anything, because your stop's going to be tighter than normal. You're going to risk less than normal. Let me jump off this. You want GBP USD. So GU, again, I've been over this as well. I'm just joining. So basically what we're looking for now is anyone selling from this point here have been taken out, which I was expecting. So we've got the takeout of these. Give me a second. So we've got the takeout of these sort of people in and around here. Price is pushed up, and now I'm expecting it to come down. But this is where we could possibly get this retracement candle in to induce sellers in and come up into this area before then rolling over and dropping off. So that's what I potentially would be looking for in this. But for me to get into this, I would want to see this candle here close as it is. Next candle open, I would want to see, if not another push down into this area here, because I feel like it's going to induce more sellers. But depending or not, I would wait, especially because we've got news coming out. To be honest, I wouldn't enter anything that's going to potentially wipe me out very quickly as soon as news comes out, because it's NFP. It's not a normal day. A normal day for me, I could happily enter a trade and put a stop loss and let it run. But NFP, it moves so quickly, and if you are on the right side of the market, you can make pretty big money. That's what NFP is for people that know what they're doing. But yeah, for me, I'd want to see this now either push up into this sort of area here before dropping off. And if it does break through this area, then I'm expecting this next level, because if we go on the 4 hour, we got the 4 hour OB at the top here, which this already is showing me that the sellers have been wiped out. But this is where it's going to catch you out. If you was to go for a buy now, because that 4 hour showing that sellers have been wiped out, if you was to go for a sell, now, I potentially reckon you could get a wick down here, get this to move back up, and then roll off, because we see it all too often on GU. Because yesterday, I did say earlier, I spent a whole day back testing GU again. Let me give you an example. Where are we at? Where can we see that it's done the same thing? Even here, look, we've had we're making higher highs and higher lows, high highs. We reversed. We're making lower lows, lower high, lower low. So after this pullback, what have we done? We've got this big wick in the market, which has induced all you sellers after this. So imagine this is pushing down that big strong. You're going to think, yeah, sell, sell, sell. Sold. What's it done? It will come back up, taking you out. Then it's actually dropped. And it's got to this sort of support level here, in and around here. And most people have bought again. So what's it done? Down to induce you into selling again. So you've sold because it's broke this structure. And then what's it done? Wicked, both push back up. So I'm saying it wants to wipe out both sides before it actually continues into the direction it wants to head. So that's what you've got to be careful. GU is a very manipulative pair. Look, like here, wiped out both sides and off we went up. But I could expect that was coming. I did get in on GU actually. I got in on GU after here. I closed out a break even on, I think it was this candle here. Wait, let me check for MetaTrader. It was GU. I closed out. Let me put it on there. Let me go. Coordinations. 18. 480. I closed out here. So obviously this wick here was what I closed out on, because basically what I saw is I entered on, I think it was this last drop leg here, because I thought it's going to take out this high again one more time before dropping off. So once this high got taken out, I was asleep. So I actually woken up, and I woke up to, give me a second. Yeah, and I woke up to obviously this wick here. And to me, that wick there was giving me the idea that my entry is probably just above this area here. And then I see it wick, and I thought to myself, that could have been the last high taken out before then dropping off. So I did actually take myself out of it, and I was break even. I think it was like something stupid, like pennies. But yeah, so I was looking for it to obviously push up after that, because after I see this big candle here, and we've taken out any buyers in the market, which it did, took me out, then it headed up. So it's just about being on the right side of the market at the right time. But for me, that is pretty much me done. I'm gonna now set an alarm, 10 o'clock, see how this 4 hour on GU closes, see how this 4 hour on gold closes, and then I'm going to potentially take my sells or my buys. But any more questions, put them in the chat. Yeah, I just don't see. Yeah, US30. I just don't understand the way people trade it. I've seen some people trade it. It's weird. It's a very it's like gold, quick to move, and it's quite nice to move. And I think that's what people like, the volatility in it. But yeah, that's probably me done. I'm now gonna go and chill out till 10 o'clock. Possibly see what happens at 10 with this 4-hour closure on the candle. It's looking pretty decent at the moment. And then go from there and take my trades from there. Go from 4 hour, 1 hour, 15, take my entry, and then I'll be looking for seeing what. Yep, hit the like button, guys. This was a good stream, to be fair. If you did see the gold trade, you would have caught it if you wanted to take it, but it was a high risk. I did say that. Obviously, part of this live stream is not just to take trades. Obviously, it's just to show people the potential in the market and the direction and what I'm looking at as well, because I think it's nice to give people a perspective on the market that they've never seen. If you do want to follow me, my Instagram is at Connor Skeet. I will pop it in the chat. Yeah, so that is my Instagram there at Connor Skeet. If you do want to direct message me, feel free to. And yeah, I'll have a good day, guys. Don't forget, NFP's here. Use tight stop losses. And if not, I would say avoid trading today. It's a Friday, NFP, and you wouldn't want to end the week on a bad week. But yeah, that's me pretty much done.